KDXI, St. George.
Weather brought to you by 24-Hour Air Conditioning and Stephen Wade Honda Mazda.
Here's your expected temperatures for today, July the 3rd. The Greater Dixie area, 99 and 69. For Zion National Park, 96 and 61. And for Bryan Head Village, 61 and 41. For Radio Dixie and Radio St. George, this is Dennis Mattinson.
Next time on Early Music Now, we'll hear a recreation of a Vesper service by Alessandro Grandi, whose innovations inspired generations of composers, starting with Heinrich Schütz. I'm Sarah Schneider. Please join me for performances by the Gechinger Kantorei and Bach Collegium Stuttgart. That's next time on Early Music Now.
Early Music Now, Thursdays at 11 on Radio St. George 100.3. Tuacahn presents Disney's When You Wish. When You Wish takes you on a magical journey with all of your favorite Disney memories. This show follows a little girl's imagination as she discovers Moana, The Princess and the Frog, Mulan, Beauty and the Beast, Tarzan, Aladdin, Mary Poppins, and many more. Disney's When You Wish. Ticket information at tuacahn.org.
The city of St. George is one of the fastest growing communities in the United States and is world-renowned for its outdoor activities. sgcity.org/event calendar is a complete list of all the events the city of St. George puts on. Pickleball, swimming, festivals, classes, camps, and lessons for old and young alike. A list of things so long we can't say them all here. Find out what's happening in St. George at sgcity.org/event calendar.
In a special partnership with Utah Public Radio, Access Utah with Tom Williams is aired weekday mornings at 9. This hour-long show covers everything from pets to politics in a range of formats from in-depth interviews to call-in shows. Access Utah, weekday mornings at 9 on Radio St. George 100.3 FM.
Listen to the Chicago Symphony Orchestra, Tuesdays from 11 to 1 on Radio St. George 100.3 FM.
This is KDXI St. George, Radio St. George at 100.3 FM. Creator of Energy Healing by Design, Nicole Ashton, a world-renowned healer and luminary whose life-after-death experience has allowed her the gift of empowering people around the globe to heal and grow into their true authentic space. Nicole, with her natural connection to Source, which has remained open since her return, will help you and your family find the frequency of gratitude and patient love that will assist you in awakening your soul's design. We now welcome you to Return to Consciousness with your host, Nicole.
Hello, hello, all you beautiful people, and welcome back to another episode of Return to Consciousness, live with Nicole and April. We are so excited. It is the 4th of July weekend, and weekend. Celebration and this of life has really came to me this week of through a lot of my clients that I'm seeing, and then also just the idea of celebrating life every moment. So I really want to share more on that as we talk. But how this show is going to go today is that we have several blessings. We have people that have either called or reached out for certain healings, and we have them written down. Some don't want their names said, so we'll say female or male, and that's addressing to who we are sharing the energy with and opening that space for them. And then we're just going to talk about some experiences and see how it goes. As you know, spirit guides every time, and so it always ends up different than we expect. But that is the joy, and that is the realism of life itself. So let's start with so the celebration of life. My observation this week is that I have a little client that is struggling and probably isn't going to make it. And I struggled with studying this online just because of the mom and dad and the family. However, when I talked to them, I realized it's very important to see every day to be present every day with those moments. Like, even if it is your last day, even if it is your first day, celebrating life and celebrating those moments are so important. So it really brought me into life. And then I got the opportunity to work with a baby that has just been born with addiction. And so I'm watching one child move out of this world and one move into this world. And I got so many messages that how precious life is. And then as we're working with these other people in Haiti, these beautiful people, and people are asking for blessings, I'm really getting it, how much this unconditional love is needed. And I invite people to really open your hearts. There's so many energies going around in the world, in Mother Earth right now. You think of these natural disasters. You think of all the stuff that's happening on Mother Earth right now. Imagine what this energy poles are doing to our own body. So first, be kind to yourself. Realize these emotions, these things that are coming up are a piece of what is happening in the world. And one of my other focuses I want to share today is people keep saying, I'm surviving the shift. I'm surviving the shift. And I'm like, how do we thrive in the shift? This energy's here. Instead of waking up every day, because your energy is either in survival or growth. So waking up every day and said, well, I'm going to survive this day, and all this stuff's happening to me, and you're doing this, and I'm doing that, and you're making me feel, how are you showing up in an energy that is very present already, that is chaotic? It's moving the oceans. It's bringing hailstorms in Mexico that are burying cars. I mean, hello, there's something going on energetically that can shift that. Imagine what it's doing to you and your energy and your body. And then you get to really look at that. So many moving pieces that have brought to this beautiful energy today, but I just really, really want to move it into that unconditional love and how we can show up and thrive in the shift. Really collectively and independently or individually use our unique knowing to shift the energy to positive, and not and try your best, because we're all doing our best right now, not to say, hey, I'm going to give my power to the retrograde. Hey, I'm going to give my power because I can't be responsible for myself, so it has to be something else. You know what? It probably is. It's maybe a lot of things, but you're responsible for your reaction to it, and you're very aware that energy is shifting and things are happening and your body's wanting to wake up and all this stuff's happening. So, how are you, how are things showing up for you in this dramatic, everything's dramatic right now, and this chaotic feeling that everyone's having. How is that showing up for you, April?
Actually, I have quite a bit of peace right now.
Yay!
Which is good. I do see a lot of that around me, though, and so it's good to observe it. Even my granddaughter today was having a meltdown. And then I tried to explain to her that, no, your brother's not making you mad. You're responsible for how you feel. And I tried to explain that with her, and she came around after a little while. But I know a lot of people are having a hard time sleeping. People have been more angry or agitated. I kind of feel like it shifted, though, a little bit, like for the better.
When I'm observing, it's like where you're at right at that moment. But I'm not going to lie. I play in that sometimes because you can be in that peaceful energy, and all of a sudden you get pulled into something that are very emotional that you weren't ready for, and it shifts everything. And I found that you can either stay there or go and say, how did I show up? What can I do differently? And if you're doing the best that you can and you're coming from a loving heart and you know that, then you have to just be there, because you're not in charge of what other people are hearing or feeling. But I have noticed with my clients, that is their disharmonies in their family units, in their workplaces. And so being proactive at that, I would say, bringing the message that everything's shifting energetically and it's not going back. It's not going back to the old way of feeling. And so to really be, know yourself, I guess, really know yourself and how you're showing up and what feels good and what doesn't. So back to the celebration of life. I mean, when you go into that gratitude, that celebration of life, this stuff, this energy shift that I see it all over the place, that everyone's giving their power away to something else. We know that this is happening. It's a piece of evolution, or maybe there's a better word, I don't know, of how the atmosphere is, how Mother Earth is. It's a cycle that is undeniably there, and it's a repetitive. So, okay, that's happening. So that's when you go internally and say, how am I letting this affect me and my moods throughout the day? And so bringing those two pieces together, again, the celebration of life came, and my clients came back into my awareness of what would it be like if we celebrated each other every day. I mean, holidays are good. It brings families together, and there's usually stuff amazing has happened on those days. So to really leave that space open of every day, celebrate something, even if it's 10 minutes, a phone call, that is a celebration. That is showing, that's reaching out, saying that I see you. Because in all my clients that I'm seeing right now, most of them want to be seen, and they want to know they matter. That's it. Only a couple of words could share that with you. Just a couple of words saying, oh, you do, you matter, I see you. So service work for me has been, and I know that you're amazing at that, and that's one thing that you is a priority in your life. So what are things for people when they're feeling in this state of being, and they feel stuck?
So like they don't matter?
And and show up in a service way. And why is that important, do you think?
Well, I think when you were talking, I heard the saying, because for a while when I was doing my lives, I would say, hi, my name is April, I'm here and I matter. And I learned that from one of the support groups for abuse that I had went to. Actually, I was right by here too. And so I think it's important that we need to be our biggest cheerleader. And that could be hard because many times we're not always proud of our actions or things we say. And it's just really important to have a relationship with ourselves and not rely on other people to define us or make us feel a certain way, because we're responsible for that. Mm-hmm. So I think, what did you want to know? If I...
So service work
service.
I recognize that service work is when I feel like I'm going off, because as you know, my life is service. My life has been, I show up, and I do find myself sometimes having feelings that it's up to me to let them escalate, or because an emotion really has no power until you give energy to it. Mm-hmm. And that's what I've been practicing lately. And so when you step into service, a lot of people say, well, you're just drowning, you're just ignoring what is going on with you. And for me, I don't find that as truth. Mm. I find that as that there's somebody else that is going through something usually worse than you, sometimes, not all the time. And so I found that just by sitting in your stuff, and doesn't work. Sitting in your stuff doesn't work at all. Mm. I mean, unless you're reflecting and you're really looking at, but if you're sitting there feeling sorry for yourself, it's going to escalate as well. Yeah. And then there's these times where sitting, reflecting and mirroring and going, I'm showing up this way. But then there's the times where you just can't get out of it. And I find that's the time to go and do service and dive right in and be there for others.
Yeah, that's a tricky one, because there are different levels of that service stuff. So it is super important to sit in your crap, and it's super, super uncomfortable, but you'll get really good at it. And so you'll just sit in it and just till it's just not comfortable, but you're okay with it. And so, but there are times, for me, I think service, it does help me get outside of myself, which is great. However, I can't ignore my emotions and feelings because if I just, so I think there's a balance with that too. I definitely think service is a great way to get outside of ourselves. And if you let your emotions get too far out of control, you might end up in bed or on the couch where you can't get up to get out and serve. So I do think it is important that you try to address both. But if you can't address your emotions and you could just get out and serve, hands down, that's great. It's good. Like, there's no wrong way. And that's the thing, like, what works for me or what works for you won't work for someone else. So, like, when you say something, it's great, and I love what you say, and I know the same for you. And I'm aware that just because that works for me, it's not going to work for everybody. So you have to decide, like, you have to look internally and be like, how am I doing today? And then decide, like, I could do this or this would work. Because sometimes if you don't say no to certain things, you're going to drown yourself and you're going to be an even bigger mess than you actually were. So if that makes sense, you kind of have to go inside, you get to go inside yourself and be like, what's going to work today? Because sometimes you could take on too much and then you're not even doing any good for anybody else because you're showing up and you're not able to do what you could have done if you would have just addressed a few more things inside of you. Because maybe you're going to purge that onto somebody else. Or maybe you're going to show up and somebody's going to be there and they can actually help you. So, I mean, it could be a win-win. It just depends on what you're doing or...
It's really interesting because I'm like reviewing our conversation already. We're talking about celebration of life and maybe falling into a depressed state because of emotions, which is really funny because what you do is you can't find anything to celebrate or you need a reason to celebrate when you're not feeling like yourself or you're not feeling good. And depression has many, 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 many layers. But, you know, I invite you to go outside. It's really check what you're eating, check who's surrounding you and what is shifting or was throwing you off. And you don't need a reason to celebrate outside of yourself because you are worth celebrating. You breathe. You're here. The miracle that people pray for every day is you. You say, God, send me a miracle, and guess what? Look in the mirror, because that's you. That's you. He's that creator light, whatever that looks like, seated you here to be great. And a lot of people, I know that they resist that, but just try thinking that, looking in the mirror and saying, what was that you say to yourself every morning? Not every morning, but
that saying?
Saying that.
Hi, my name is April. I'm here and I matter.
Wow. Just feel that. I invite whoever is suffering. And again, we also are, I have a whole bunch of questions and a whole bunch of different kind of healings. So in this amazing array of conversations, we're actually hitting on every single one of them while in the celebration of life. Because the 4th of July celebration is amazing. I love the fireworks. I love family. I love all this stuff. But there is those people that feel like that celebration is sad, and then there's others that think that's the only day they can celebrate. So see, we're hitting all this amazing stuff in one conversation. So I invite people to just take time. Like my client that her son is crossing over. I invited her to go 10 minutes a day because she's with him every second. And we're wondering and worrying, and as she should. So I have this huge compassionate heart for her, but she also has to take care of her and be healthy because I worry about her too. And so it's like I get to watch and I get to witness how the energies move through that family, and celebrating this little boy's life every second isn't easy for her to do, watching him, but it's what they both need. And so, just go inside of yourself and be there for you. Sorry.
It's okay.
So I'm telling you, the imagine yourself in the creator light, the source light right now. And I'm going to share this experience with the people that understand my energy and how I work. And if not, be open to just feeling this gateway, this opening. So I crossed over and I got the opportunity to feel it, see it, and bring it into this world. And when I'm holding a baby that's just barely born, that's shaking, and they're worried about her their death, their life-threatening shakes. And I held for, I don't even know because I went into space, but maybe 3 hours or 2 hours, and she stopped shaking. And then I go to the next, and I go and work on with the little boy in that energy, and the gates are both open in different aspects of life and death, and I got to really feel, sense, and know that how close Creator is to all of us all the time. And it takes you to breathe in, and I'm sharing this with all of you now because there's so many people in need. But as you breathe in and you go into that heart space, that soulful self, and you remember that unconditional love, and you remember that you are amazing, valued, everything around you starts to shift. And then you get to observe what you've created around you. And what isn't comfortable, you get to work through. And when you're in that soulful state, that unconditional love, it makes more sense. You might not understand it, how you got there, how to fix it, but it makes more sense. And that is also consciousness, and that moves into unconditional love and unity. So, yeah, a lot of observations for me, and a lot of stuff probably for people to listen to, but it's real, and in every home. And I see a lot of people here in St. George, and there's just so much we can do by sharing love and light and a blessing. You don't know, people have forgotten, a lot of people, not everybody, have forgotten the power of prayer. The power of, and then they want to put it in this religious box, and they want to do this, and spiritual people, they challenge me on that. But prayer, you can have, that can be meditation as well. It's that stillness that you're taking to share with somebody else, that love. And that's really what that is. And there's an intention that goes that you want them healthy and happy and whole, and that actually goes a long way. So I invite you to write a list of people that have come to you and shared that they're not doing, that they're having their off days, and sit with that and practice. Instead of resisting or rejecting what we say about energy, try it. Because I don't think anyone fails at anything. The only when you fail is because you don't try.
Yeah. Or if you created something you don't like, you can always create something new.
Exactly.
There's always opportunities.
I think some people think they have to have permission too. They're like, I was talking last week, I have to have permission to be in a good mood. No. And I'm going to be in the bad mood because I declared it to be a bad day, and on and on and on. And you make all these stories up, and then sometimes you even go find people to celebrate this story that you have of sadness. And I'm like, that is, it's like, why? So we are going to take callers the second half. You can call us at 435-879-4100. That is 435-879-4100. And you can ask questions. You can share a story. You can
ask for a blessing.
Or a healing. And we do have some that we have written down that we will just address. And you can always reach me at energyhealingbydesign.com and April at handshealinghearts.com. I don't know why that's a tongue twister for me.
I don't know
every
either.
time. And we also are having our gatherings. Our gatherings are amazing. We had a really, really good one last week, Well, anyways, our last gathering was amazing. We thank everybody for showing up and supporting us. It's very full of unconditional love, and everyone's welcome, and you come and you share your experiences of energy, your experience of light, and people grow and they exchange. We had an energy circle there that people just were able to kind of understand, and especially if you don't understand the energy and you don't understand what we're talking about in some aspects, it will kind of open you up and give you an idea of what that is.
Yeah, and you don't have to share. You could just come and observe.
Yeah.
There was quite a few newcomers, and they really liked it.
They did, and they were uncomfortable at first, and if you're listening,
Yes.
you can call in and share your experience if you want to. They were uncomfortable at first because they didn't know, but quickly you saw them feel at home and feel like they could share, and it's just more of a support. I think that more spiritual gatherings and more stuff is coming up and being more mainstream than it was before. So it's a little bit easier, but I know that first time it's got to be difficult to just walk into a room of people hugging you and you have no idea what's going on.
Yeah, but that's a good word. That's a good place to start, actually, because once you keep doing that, you get comfortable doing it, and then you meet people and connect with people, and it's just amazing what happens when you just open your mouth or you just like try those new things.
Yeah, and we have the mingle time afterwards, so it's always you meet people, like-minded people.
Yeah.
And this month we're having it July 17th, and we're going to have it at 352 East Riverside Drive, A12 in St. George, Utah. That's 352 East Riverside Drive, A12 in St. George, Utah.
At 7 o'clock. Right?
Yeah, at 7 o'clock. I have a lot of people connecting to me. Can you feel that?
That's good.
Yeah, it's this energy wave going through, and as people know as they watch this show, that it's definitely spirit guided, and sometimes I do check out because we do have listeners all over. Facebook does have following, but we also have a lot of people that tune in to my energy, so I zone out sometimes, but thank you for all the support that you guys show us. And then the second half, we'll do a short connection meditation, and we'll take callers if you are feeling up to it, and we'll move into questions and healings the second half. Again, I'm Nicole Ashton. You can reach me at energyhealingbydesign.com, and it's April Betty. You can reach her at handshealinghearts.com, and we will be right back.
Oh yeah, that's Midnight Special. That's Midnight Special.
I'm Rich Warren, inviting you to tune in to our Midnight Special, folk music and farce, show tunes and satire, madness and escape. 2 hours weekly ranging from ancient ballads to cutting-edge singer-songwriters, classic Broadway shows, and the latest British comedy, all on the Midnight Special.
The Midnight Special, Saturday evenings from 7 till 9, on Radio St. George 100.3. Radio Dixie is sporting some new custom and embroidered swag, including bowling shirts, Dickie shirts, fleece jackets, t-shirts to be given away, cell phone wallets, bags, and a whole bunch more. And this is because of the Extreme team at Extreme Graphics. Screen printing, embroidery, vinyl, graphic design, Extreme Graphics with an X, a sweet sponsor of DSU Radio.
Hi, I'm Mark Parrish, owner of your local McDonald's. McDonald's offers $2,500 a year in tuition assistance for Dixie State University students. By working at McDonald's, you'll be paid and can be qualified for an additional $2,500 in tuition assistance. Apply at your local McDonald's. I'm Mark Parrish from your local McDonald's, and we're helping you go to college.
I'm loving it.
Sometimes it's too hot in St. George.
24-hour air conditioning.
Sometimes it's too cold in St. George.
24-hour heating. Hi, I'm Angel Nava from 24-hour air conditioning and heating, and we're available 24 hours a day. 1-800-AIR-REPAIR. 1-800-AIR-REPAIR. P.S. Change your filter every month. I'm Angel Nava from 24-hour air conditioning and heating.
Are you looking for an affordable GRE prep course? Look no further. The DSU Community and Continuing Education has partnered with the U of U with a special offer of $299 for St. George area residents. This one-week format will be held June 3rd through the 7th, 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. at the U of U St. George Graduate Center in the U Plaza. Go to continuing.utah.edu to register now.
Hola, te saluda Zoe y te invito a que nos escuches los lunes y los miércoles durante mi programa de 6 a 7 de la tarde, hora local, con música, noticias, invitados y más. Solo aquí en Radio St. George 100.3 FM.
Your home for music till dawn. Radio St. George at 100.3 FM.
You're listening to Radio St. George 100.3 FM. We now welcome you back to Return to Consciousness with your host, Nicole.
Hello, and welcome back to Return to Consciousness live with Nicole and April. You can always reach us at energyhealingbydesign.com and handshealinghearts.com. I'm super happy to be here today. Like, the first half is always like interesting because we're getting in our groove, and then we hit the middle part and we are so much fun. We get to say how is this, how are we showing up? How's this working? We're showing up amazing, obviously, but doesn't it seem like it's an adjustment every time?
It does. I never know what to expect. I feel better this second half. The first half, there was a lot of energy going around over here, and now I feel like it shifted. So this is good.
There is. There's so much energy, and then we try to address all of it. And you know what? I'm a lot. I know that. And sometimes I have subjects, and they're big ones, and they're all over the place. But I trust that you will listen to this exactly when you need it. And energy and information has no time or distance. It will show up on your doorstep when it needed, or in your brain, energy, whatever. And so it's amazing. Again, the first half we were talking about celebration of life, because it is the 4th of July, and it's so beautiful that we celebrate every day, or we celebrate these holidays, and they're needed to, they're key points of life and history and all this fun stuff, information that you get from them. But I encourage and invite you to celebrate something about your life every day. It's just something. Maybe it takes 5 minutes, 10 minutes, and maybe you take a whole hour in the afternoon to celebrate something with you, your kids, and people, I mean, what would that feel and be like? That would totally go into a complete gratitude for life instead of waiting until it's the end of your life. Mm-hmm. Because that comes quicker than we think for some. True. And I'm connecting with some people that are, see, this happens.
Oh, I was like, did I just lose you? I saw that look.
My mouth is not working, but thank you for understanding, because we do this out of the love from our hearts, the compassionate hearts that we have, and we show up every week for you, and this show is for you, and we trust that the feedback and how we can best serve you, we trust that you feel open to send information or send us requests and for healings, for blessings, for just feedback. We love it, and we're totally open to it, because we are both new on the air. We have dedicated our Wednesdays to you, and the only way that we can show up for you is you let us know how. Mm-hmm. And we're here.
I was going to say, for people who need permission to celebrate themselves, you have permission. Celebrate yourself.
Woo! Wow.
That was surprising.
Yeah. I don't know where that came from.
I guess she's going to celebrate her today.
Yeah.
And every day.
Yeah. I do. I do have this, I do. I have this like childlike spirit, and I might have some of my own emotional stuff that everybody, I'm still human, but there is every day I do celebrate a lot being alive, because I died. Yeah. So I understand what that looks like. Plus I work with a lot of people that are in that space right now. So I do celebrate life, because it's so precious. And watching a baby be born, which is, and being able to know that and we all can do this, you guys, knowing that you can hold this baby. And I'm going to share something with you. These babies that are coming in right now, they have a very, very distinct turquoise light that they are trying to adjust to. And you get to shower them in this turquoise light, and they feel comfortable. This baby with addiction moved right into a safe space, because the body heals when it feels safe. And then, and I've worked with that with children that are being born. I create turquoise energy around them. I vision it as like a ball. And these babies are turning, because they are like breech, and they'll turn because they feel like they're safe to come out, and it's working. There's no explanation of it except it's working. And you don't always have to see the colors to show up like that. You can intently say, hey, I'm comforting you, I'm surrounding you, I'm cocooning you in this turquoise light, and it's okay to be here. We want you here. simple stuff like that. I mean, simple stuff to us, or even some people think that's completely silly, but it's working.
Mm-hmm.
These babies are coming,
Yep.
and they're clearing, and they're staying. And so that's like one thing you can practice. And the hospitals don't let you have to go into a cuddle program, and you have to do this, and you have to have all these checks. And then you find out that most of the babies that get cuddled are family members of someone that works there, and you can't get in there anyway. So let people know, these people like the moms, that you're available and that you would love to come and cuddle the baby when it's born, because the moms are drug addicts. And also, and I say that, I don't say that lightly, because we have a very strong compassion for recovering addiction. So the moms are already having a child they're not sure what to do with, and thinking, since they're going through withdrawals right after the birth, that they're not going to be able to take care of the baby, or that they're never going to be able to stop. So you get to be there for both of them while assisting the baby in this blue light. It's fabulous. It's fabulous. And, if you know somebody like that in that state, then let them know that you're available to do that when the baby's born. And it works. So
that's beautiful. I think it's hard when, like, I have a friend who recently lost her baby, but she knew before he was born that her baby was going to pass away. And I think it's hard because my son passed away, but it's been 24 years because he'd be 27 this year. So it's been a long enough time where I could definitely say, oh, I've been through different phases of how that looks. And watching people, go through it now, it just is so sad sometimes, because I know personally you can't say or do anything to change how they feel. It's good, I guess, to let people know you're there for them. But when you talk about celebrating life, it's hard not to think of, when people don't make it, and it's just, I don't know. Just
so, and I feel you, and I'm sending you a lot of love. And as I was thinking, as I'm witnessing how precious life is, and I see the other side, and I see the parents, what they're going through. And let's use my little boy, that we won't say names, but most of you know who it is. I watch him on his way out, and I watch his parents, how they're each handling it differently. And I realize he just wants them to celebrate him now.
Yeah.
And so when I'm encouraging that piece, it's just because if you're already mourning them as being gone, that's what you will remember and feel. Mm-hmm. And so even though we're very, very healthy people, right, like you yourself independently could be really, really healthy, and I've known many times where people don't wake up, and there's a lot of workers right now that are checking out, mm-hmm. that you think that are in a really amazing space. You don't know. That's the thing. That's why the celebration of life that you're alive and breathing now is my topic. But
it's a good topic. No, it is a good topic. But my son passing away, honestly, it was one of the many blessings, and it was a good thing that happened to me. Not in the moment, but it's amazing, like, how strong you could become, and all the lessons I learned from it. I would never change it, because that was the plan. And so it's a beautiful life lesson for me, and it's a good reminder too. And I definitely live a different life than I would have if he didn't pass away, because I wouldn't know what that felt like. And I'd probably take more things for granted maybe. Mm-hmm. I'd just be different. And so I am grateful for it. I mean, I probably couldn't say it at every stage throughout that it lasts 24 years, but I could overall, genuinely just say that's a blessing, mm-hmm. and I'm grateful for it. And so, I don't know, my one child, he always is like, I don't understand how you could say that. But I think as he gets older, he's starting to see that.
Yeah, and we have when stuff like that happens, we do have our days that we're down, and like I was telling, every morning I get up and I create a happy space, and I keep telling myself, I love you, and I have to sometimes, because some things we deal with every day aren't comfortable, and so it's just a practice to stay in that space.
Yeah, and be careful what we tell ourselves. Mm-hmm. Just like try to listen to what you're saying to yourself. Yeah. And if things are going crappy, then you might be like, well, what am I creating? What am I saying? What's the story I'm telling myself today? Mm-hmm. And when things are going good, then recognize those too.
I definitely had my day today, and you called me out on it. And that's what you do. You have people that support you when you're, and mine were subtle, like things about myself, putting myself down that from, just small things, but they showed up and you said, hey, how are you feeling about yourself? And I can blame it on all this other stuff except for I didn't say, stuff, things were said, things happened, but I lost that I'm amazing. Not lost it, but I wasn't saying that. I wasn't realizing the good things that actually daily show up for me. I was letting one thing throw my whole day off, and that's why I share. And that's why, because I live it too. And I practice it. And so I share with people of, you can come out of those energies and be.
But they weren't even true. Just the little things you were saying weren't even true. They were actually pretty stupid. And that's why I had to say, okay, how are you feeling about yourself today? Because it was stupid things like your hair or your skin's dry. Like, it was just like.
It was.
It was a few other things, but they were all stupid like that. It was, and your hair looks cute. Everything looks good.
She's like, how's that reflecting and showing up? Oh, I get it. Thank you.
You're welcome.
So we are going to go into a meditation, just a short one, because we don't have very much time. But I do have a gentleman that reached out on the webpage, and his name is, and he was online, so he did put his name there so I can say it. It was Douglas Mugisha, and I think he's from he might be from Haiti. But he requested a blessing. He didn't say why. So we're going to add him in the meditation as the blessings come through. We also have 4 women that both have similar stuff. And it is a weight problem because of their emotional clearing. So we'll go through that. And it will kind of hit a core. So you're going to hear me bring in colors and talk about heart and different places. But know that I'm addressing you. So they said they were going to listen, and I am addressing, and I see you, and I'm feeling you, and I have you in my head, and I know that you would ask your name's not to be said, so I honor that, and we honor you. And so we will go ahead and start this with inviting you to relax, be in a space of receiving, of joy. Find something that creates that space in you, that unconditional love. Then we invite you to go into that heart space. Go into that beautiful, beautiful, beautiful light that's in your heart. And as we share this energy of new beginnings, of the source energy being so close to us right now, these babies coming into this world, like all of them want to share with you right now how important and needed you are. You would imagine a white light moving down the top of your head, right down the core of your body, and out into the core of Mother Earth, where you're going to feel a wave of light that's full of nurturing and full of creation. You're going to bring that up through the crystalline caves into your feet, calves, thighs, right through the core of your body, out the top of your head, and feel your heart expand. Breathe in and move your shoulders back. Breath is very important. Each time that you breathe in, you're breathing in the life force energy, collecting anything that doesn't serve you, and you're breathing it out. We're going to do some timelines for these women. They all have, I can see, lineage of overweight and nutrition that hasn't been addressed. So bring a green light into your heart. Open and allow this beautiful energy of nutrition, of nutrients. Move this through your body. Create this wholeness right through your heart, and feel it go through every organ and every cell of your body. This work is yours. The power is yours. You created it. Now you get to uncreate it. and create a new path for your children to follow. And ask for this idea of being overweight, causing depression, to go. Watch it dissolve. Pay attention where your body is maybe heavy, hot. Pinches, pulls the back. Just different things, different areas of your body where you're holding that. Breathe it out. And then be in joy. Bring in that joy that when you do this for you, your children are also feeling it. Bring in that gratitude that you are shifting the awareness in your lineage line that this is able to happen. You're showing up. You are taking your power back and the responsibility, and every one of your chakras start to celebrate love and life. And as we're all in this collective energy, we go ahead and we share the love and the light with everybody that asked for blessings, all the people that are connected to me, to April, to you. Emanate that out of the heart space like a ripple effect. You are more than you've been told, and the power within you is phenomenal. And it's up to you to believe it. It's up to you to feel it. And as that white light increases down the top of your head, there's this purple light. This is the fastest transmuting light. It's also the violet purple. And as this is moving through your body, watch it emanate out your cells. Watch it witness this amazing celebration of life. I feel this. Breathe it through the top of your head. Push it out to the left, to the right, in front of you, behind you, above you, below you. Now breathe in that purple light into your heart and watch it expand, and then allow yourself to remember that light is within you, and it always has been, and it always will be. And as that moves around you, push it as far as that's comfortable. Imagine tree trunks or something very grounding to you moving up your feet, your legs, and really bringing you back down into this earth. And feel the wholeness. Feel that wholeness. I invite you, before we start these meditations, maybe to even write down how you're feeling, your senses, and then write how you feel afterwards. And share it if you'd like or not, but it's more for you to see the difference of the sensations in your body, the openness to of your heart, awareness, observation. There's so much that gets to happen when you spend a couple minutes in stillness and releasing stuff that doesn't serve you. Now I'm just going to go with the female client, or the female that called me. I'm just going to allow her to breathe into her lower abdomen. Breathe in a huge breath through your nose. Collect all of that information because you're really having a lot of belly pain. And then breathe it out your mouth. And then breathe it back in. Breathe back in that light and just do that process. And it clears and it brings you into your higher consciousness. And this is similar to the work that I do every day with thousands of people now. And I am so grateful to show up to serve. It's my life, and I some people don't understand it, and it's okay. You just either take it, put it in you shelf it, or you keep it, or you use it, or you call and ask questions about it, and again, some of this information is not for you. And so you're more than welcome to watch something different or listen to something different, and we support you on that. And when and if it's time, we'll still be here loving you. So that was pretty big, and I felt a lot of people come in to this. I'm sorry, that is so not nice on the radio, but I'm like, I don't want it either. You don't want it, I don't want it either. So I do that with love. Sorry if it sounds disgusting, but I invite you to do it yourself. I mean, these little things where you're like, oh, we have allergies, or we have this, or I don't want to sound gross, I don't want to clear my throat in public. You know what? That will stick with you all day long if you don't clear that stuff. Yeah. And so allow that. And I'm probably really loud because I'm also having my energy's blocked in my head, in my ears. So I apologize for that, but I am sure glad to be here today.
That was a good meditation. I liked it. Just by sitting in that silence and doing your meditation, I loved it. I feel like so different than when I walked in the doors.
Yeah.
In a good way. I feel amazing. Thank you.
Yay. And I do too. So thank you. Because if you wouldn't have called me out on my crap, then I probably would have still been in it.
Can I ask you a question?
You bet.
When someone clears their throat, I know you were just doing it because of like all the stuff you just were doing. If somebody clears their throat a lot like that, though, in general, does that mean something? Do you know?
They're not speaking their truth, your heart's desires. So
that's what I thought.
You're not feeling like you can express your feelings because of judgment. And so that sticks in the heart, the throat and the heart a lot. And so you have to just ask yourself, what is it that you're not feeling like you can speak? Because it feels like constriction. And I feel people are in a lot of fear of doing that because, you don't ever know what's going to come back at you. But I encourage you, don't worry about that. If you hold it in, then it just keeps coming up and coming up, and getting rid of it is really, if it doesn't serve you, let it go.
Okay.
So
that's good to know.
But your heart will hurt as well. Like for who you're talking about, the pressure comes up in the heart. They hold their breath and they want to speak, but they don't dare because of the repercussions of them having a feeling. And so that's what it is.
Okay. That's good to know.
Clear it with blue and remind them that that's okay to speak their truth, even if you don't understand it. Okay. It's their truth and it matters to them. So yeah, that's how you share that.
Thank you.
I was clearing mine because that's how I clear. I can feel people's stuff. I use my heart and my voice to assist people, so that's where it comes back at me.
Yeah, I knew that's what you were doing. It just reminded me. I was like, and maybe somebody listening has the same issue or knows someone who does, and maybe they could assist them through that. Mm-hmm. That's the cool thing when you listen to Nicole is you could learn little tips and tricks and then try it and see what happens. Mm-hmm. That's what I do, and it's actually quite fun. I do.
I know.
I'll send you pictures. I have some silly ones I was doing.
Yeah.
With my 2-year-old grandson.
April has an amazing way of saying, well, I don't really believe it all the way until I see it. She feels it. Not necessarily she doesn't believe it, but she's like, I want to see that.
I want to see it.
I want to see it. I want to see how it works. And she writes it down and she takes pictures, and actually it's been amazing because she's able to see my work is very tangible in so many different ways. And
I have to see it because I could go by what you say, and that's fine because you don't have to prove yourself to me. You know who you are. However, once I see it, then it's like, I know. Like, I know.
Yeah.
And now I do know.
And thank you guys for tuning in again. And we will see you next week at 4 o'clock on Return to Consciousness. I'm Nicole Ashton. You can reach me at energyhealingbydesign.com or April Betty at handshealinghearts.com. Have an amazing week. Happy 4th of July.
You've been listening to Return to Consciousness with your host, Nicole Ashton, creator of Energy Healing by Design, a world-renowned healer and luminary whose life-after-death experience has allowed her the gift of empowering people around the globe to heal and grow in their true authentic space. For audio and or video of this, go to Facebook or YouTube, Podbean or Spotify, and search Radio St. George or radiostgeorge.com. We invite you back next Wednesday at 4 o'clock for Return to Consciousness with Nicole Ashton on Radio St. George 100.3 FM.